Welcome, guys, to your weekly astrology forecast here on Astrology Motivation. If you guys know me from Born Without Boundaries Tarot, yes, that is my premier YouTube channel. And there is where we double down on the weekly zodiac readings, where I do one reading for every zodiac sign. So that's 12 readings every single week. And I hope you'll join me there as well. This is a weekly astrology forecast for January 29th to February 4th. February 4th is going to be our full moon. It's a full moon in Leo, which is in direct opposition to the sun in Aquarius. That's what happens on full moons. You have opposition between the sun and the moon, which is a representation of opposition between your ego and your inner self, what you think you have to be or what you have created versus where you come from, what you are internally, and what you may not want to share all the time with people. Full moons are a fantastic time for us to get rid of energy or things that we don't need. So we can start helping ourselves get rid of energy that we don't need by getting rid of things that we don't need. So this is a great time to start your spring cleaning and kind of get a jump start on it by giving away things that you don't need anymore, throwing away stuff that you have allowed to collect. If you do that physically, the physical can have an impact on the emotional and the metaphysical and help you release some of that pent up energy that you've been buried under. So we're going to get into the astrology for the week. There is no major transits or big worrisome aspects this week, but I'm going to go over the highlights and then we're going to get a little bit deeper into what a full moon in Leo in opposition to the sun in Aquarius is really talking about. And I did a video highlighting the duality between Leo and Aquarius energy, specifically the toxic side of the potentially toxic side of Leo and Aquarius energy on Born Without Boundaries Tarot. And I invite you to watch that video, which I'll attach the link to right here so that you guys can, after this video, I'll also attach it down in the description box below, can go over and watch that video if you're really interested in astrology and energetic duality. It's a perfect example using some pop culture references that have just actually happened here in Aquarius season. So we can really dig down and talk about the energy in more depth. For right now, let's get into the weekly astrology forecast. So we have Mars trine the sun, and we have Mercury sextile Neptune. We also have Jupiter Chiron trining what will be the full moon, but we'll get into that a little bit later and what that means. This full moon is also going to be, this full moon is also going to be square to the nodes because the sun is going to be squared to the north and south nodes. And we'll get a little bit into what that is. Let's talk about Mars trine the sun. So Mars is in Gemini and the sun is in Aquarius, which puts them into a trine. And what trines mean are harmony and balance between these two really powerful energies. Mars has to do with action, taking action, and your energy source, motivation, sometimes anger, confrontation. Mars is the warrior, represents the warrior mentality of focus, of progress, of insistence upon creation and creating the reality that you've decided deserves to be created. And then we have the sun, which represents, amongst other things, your ego, your sense of self, also your heart and your sense of purpose, as well as romance. Basically, what you really realize as your ideal version of yourself, ideal version of the world, and where you really want to put the primary energy to call into existence. So when the sun and Mars are trine, there's a harmony between your action and your purpose. So you can find really good sort of flow when it comes to setting your intentions, really being clear on what it is that you care about and making the decision to put action to it. Those things will be very balanced. Mercury and Neptune are in a sextile this week. So this is beautiful and creative energy. I think that when you're working with Mercury, which is a very pragmatic energy, and you're working with Neptune, which is anything but pragmatic, the two of them sextile, because sextile is a beautiful relationship between planets where they're just getting things done. They're taking the best of both of them and they're putting it to use, and they're putting it to work, and they're working out a functionality between the two of them. So you have Neptune, which rules dreams and impossibilities, and the realm of everything is possible, as well as mysteries and secrets, as well as the God space, the God realm, that which is undefined, and the penultimate creative space. And then you have Mercury, which is one-on-one personal communications, interactions, thought and intelligence, talking about in the 3D, in the real world, day to day. So that means that when Mars is sextile to Neptune, you have an extraordinary opportunity to create something into existence that didn't make sense before, but with that practical mixed in with that impossible, you get this ability to take from the dream realm and manifest it into the real world. So what does that mean? Writing, communications, singing, music is a perfect harmony between these two. If you feel like you're more drawn to music, whether it's singing or dancing, movement of any kind that is musical, this is that Mercury sextile Neptune aspect. Also composing music, so being able to take emotion and your psychic intuition and turn it into something that is measured and practical and communicatable. That is what that sextile between Neptune and Mercury will give to you. So this is a great time to work on that novel. This is a great time to, write even blogs or create videos that have to do with what you have been thinking, and then being able to put them into practical, structured composition. Right? To compose your dreams, to take inspiration and turn it into a composition that you can communicate with others. So if you find yourself getting distracted under this aspect, it's not distraction at all. It's not distraction. No. This is legitimately your inspiration talking to your practicality, so that that inspiration can turn into something that can be communicated to others. So it is far from a distraction. It is the farthest from a distraction. No, you should let yourself get distracted by whatever inspiration comes up now, because it is really your assignment to turn that into something tangible that you can communicate and share with others, especially since the sun is in Aquarius. It's about sharing with others. It's about being able to gather the community and share within the community and strengthen the community. We have also the full moon. Now let's go back, because there's a lot that I wrote about the full moon. Here we go. So this full moon happens on February 4th, which is Saturday, and the full moon itself is going to be trine to Jupiter and Chiron. It is going to also be square to the nodes and quincunx to Neptune. Quincunx is a little bit of an agitation, irritation, this sense of maybe a bit of distractibility, or just things aren't as clear as you want them to be. But that's sort of that transition that we get here when we face a square of the nodes. A square of the nodes is a karmic check-in. How far have we come? And how much work do we still have to do? What's my next crossroads? What have I learned? And how have I put that into play, into building the me that I am now versus the me that I started out as? So Leo, where the moon is it's all about your values, your self-worth. What do I really love in life, and how do I want to be seen? All of this is going to come up in question, especially with regards to how other people see you. And how do you feel? Do you feel like they see you as quality? Do you feel that they see you at the way that you want to be seen, or is that dissonance there? Anybody with a natal sun in Leo, around 15 degrees Leo, so between 10 and 20 degrees Leo, if your natal sun is there, this full moon is going to be in conjunct to your natal sun, so you guys will feel the impact of this most prominently. Cancerians, you always feel the full moon. This is always a big time for you. It'll primarily then for you be about letting go of a toxic self-image, especially with regards to an image in the crowd, or a need to be popular, or how other people see you, or even in a way if you want to change that image because it's become emotionally toxic for you and you're feeling stuck. This could bring about some really kind of harsh awakenings about, I don't want to be stuck being seen this way for the rest of my life. Maybe even spur or inspire some sort of, I have to reinvent myself, because am I really, with the sun conjunct the moon, so with the moon, am I really who I want to be? You know, am I, because really for Cancerians, the moon will be in opposition to the sun. So is my sincerity, is my true self what people see? And if it's not, how do I get those two to be in unison instead of feeling so far apart? Full moons are about releasing any old needs or needs to be who you were. So this is, especially with that square to the nodes, it's not about being who you were anymore. Have I let go, and what do I need to release about who I was to make room for what I potentially could be? So this really is about sort of like right in the middle of finding the courage to let go of that comfort zone and start to pull yourself toward discomfort. So what do you know is uncomfortable for you, and how can you challenge yourself to get a little bit uncomfortable so that you can grow, especially in terms of how you see yourself and how others see you. Taking social action and being social is going to be imperative in this transition. The trine to Jupiter and Chiron that this full moon is going to experience is all about healing and growing beyond your pain. And with Jupiter there, you can be sure that you'll be able to do it. Jupiter is going to bless you with an optimism as well as an open-mindedness and a zoom out, like an aerial vision, to see past your pain and to see that there are other things going on, and maybe those other things are going to be helpful to you and you can really be curious about them despite your pain. So this is a wonderful transition. So this is a wonderful aspect to have with the check into the nodes and the full moon release about, I'm ready to go beyond my pain. I'm ready to take myself into areas and places that maybe I haven't tried before. I'm ready to expand and I'm ready to grow, because staying in one place or staying where I am will just continue the pain. It'll just be too painful. So maybe, just maybe, the solution to the pain or the solution to my setbacks is to do things differently, to do things that I haven't done before, and to trust others a little bit more. We got to go on. Hold on. Mars trine the sun, which is happening while this moon is full, is about energy and motivation and purpose. You can create something that doesn't even exist yet. That, like, in other words, especially with Jupiter trine this full moon and this trine the sun during this full moon, you'll be able to create outside of the box. And that's exactly what Mercury sextile Neptune is all about. Is like, these are things that have not been done before, at least in your personal life, right? But also you could become very ingenuitive and very creative and inventive and come up with things that haven't even been done before. The one downfall, you have too much freedom. And many people don't like that. And that could be the one thing that you're facing right now that is challenging you to get out of your comfort zone is, how does freedom feel? How does the ability or the permission to try feel? It scares a lot of people. This could be when you actually realize, oh, as maybe as liberal as I thought I was, maybe as open-minded as I thought I was, I really stay between the lines, don't I? I really like to live within the rules. And I love those rules being set for me. What if they're not? What if nobody is guiding me or nobody is leading me and nobody's telling me what to do? Well, that's on you. So that's going to be the challenge, is what do I do? What do I add? What do I contribute to my life and the life of others? Yeah, so because for many people, freedom is their worst fear. And they don't really realize that, because too many people these days convolute freedom with just getting what you want when you want it and satiation. And that's not true. Freedom is really the ultimate responsibility. And a lot of people don't like that. The energy will reveal, this energy of the full moon will reveal just how independent you really are, and do you really want to be free? I think that's really what the contrast between the moon and the sun. The moon is in Leo, right? So that is, who are you really? Who is your internal self and your sense of self versus the crowd? The sun is in the crowd. Like, how do I belong to everybody else? This sense of, okay, are you really independent? Or how are you relying on those around you to create who you are? And are you happy with what they've decided to create? This is all energy that this full moon will inspire you to release and let go of. I feel overall that this full moon is going to be absolutely beautiful, but ultimately it will pose some challenges. My challenge to you, therefore, is to get out and do something that will take you outside of your comfort zone, and that's going to be something that really makes you feel inside like you really feel uncomfortable. You'll be able to feel it in your stomach. You'll be able to feel it like maybe tense up. These are the things that you want to go slow with, but when it comes to Mars trying the sun, you might want to rush into things and jump into things head first. Don't. Use that energy. Don't let the energy use you, right? Use that energy to maybe take one step and then the other outside that comfort zone. And it's that power of that energy you'll be able to have the energy to do it, instead of like going far and long and way too wide. Do what's really difficult. It's almost like diesel engine, right? It's almost like just getting in gear in that first gear. The startup is always the hardest. So you have the energy to do it around this full moon especially. So fucking do it. Like, push yourself that one step that's the most difficult for you to take. Not push yourself to like fly, but push yourself to take that one step that is most difficult and most intimidating and most uncomfortable for you to take. And I promise you, you are going to manifest with this moon brilliantly. And that is the forward push that is going to help you create the most momentum and most progress in your life. I love you guys so much. Please, please, please leave your comments below. I'd love to know how this energy is impacting you. And if you really love my content here, remember to subscribe to the channel and ring that notification bell so that you get these weekly astrology forecasts updated to you all the time. They'll be announced as soon as I upload them. And you can go live with me Monday through Friday on our live chats to discuss the astrology of the day, as well as do a general tarot card reading live chat. I love you guys so much, and I will see you in the videos. Bye.